call. Gary Murphy. Yep. Rick Orpala. Here. Michael Berlin. Here. William Mettinger. Here. Martin Vitek. Here. Okay, we need a motion to approve the agenda. Also moved. Motion by Rick.
I will second it.
Second by Bill. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. March 8th, 2021 meeting minutes. We need a motion to approve. Motion.
I'll second
by
it.
Mike. Second by Rick.
Yep.
Any questions, changes, deletions? If not, all those in favor of approving the minutes say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Public comment via Zoom or in person. There's no public in person. Is there anybody on the Zoom?
Bobby Clark on the Zoom meeting.
Okay. And then number 5, commissioner report.
All right, employees, we haven't had any changes in employees now for a while. I did want to touch base. I know exec met last week and they're talking about a hiring freeze. We do every year, we hire 6 employees, summer help employees, which we have 5 on board already, basically, that we, told they have a position. We're still looking for a 6th person. Just want to make sure, I guess, that you guys support me in having them positioned this summer. We have a lot of work. We have a lot of track fueling lined up. Without the 6 summer help, we're going to be in trouble for getting anything done.
Yeah, and then let me just say something, because I'm the main person pushing it.
Sure.
I am in favor of a hiring freeze, but not that, because that was approved a while back.
Sure.
My intention for a hiring freeze is simply this. Any position within anywhere in the county that comes up, we may have to have certain positions there. I have no problem. My problem is I think we need to say to the supervisors, just tell us that it's an immediate need and why. I have no problem with it. I just don't want to get caught with hiring a bunch of people, this is my opinion, that we could hold off on a while. But those summer positions were approved a while back. But say you lost a crew member in the column.
Yes.
You would just simply come to the committee of choice that whatever's decided, if it's decided that way, and say, hey, we can't do without this position. That I understand, as long as but if there's some way we have a position somewhere that we don't need to fill right away, I'm not opposed to putting people on.
Sure. My issue with that is timing. Right now it's not a big deal if it happens, but if it happens in November, it's always a time crunch. You got to advertise for the position, you got to interview for the position. If you hire someone, a lot of times they have to give a 2-week notice. So it's such a long period already that maybe we don't have a committee meeting or any kind of a meeting for a month to get it approved to even start the hiring process.
But I think as a supervisor, no matter which department it is, the supervisor has a situation like that, they go to Clark and say to the administration, hey, we need to have something. There's no reason why whoever it is, executive finance or somebody, can't meet through your Zoom phone call or so and say it's immediate. My concern is that we are in a budget pitfall, and I don't want to see unnecessary hiring. A month or 2 ago, we had 3 or 4 positions posted in the newspaper. I have no clue myself whether those were needed or could have been postponed, delayed. But I have no problem with the administration saying to whichever committee does it, and again, this is just me, that, hey, we need to meet right away. I don't have a problem with somebody advertising, because that gives you a little window, and then say, hey, that committee's got to make a decision. Are we going to hire that position?
Sure.
Obviously, snowplowing is a great idea, but I would say.
Yep, that's, if I'm looking in June, July, August, whatever, it's not a big deal. But if it's late fall or winter time, I need to move it along as fast as possible.
And I don't think that's a problem. So
When is the summer help slated to start?
We usually start them, depends on, we look for college kids. So whenever they're done with college for the spring, and or some of them are finishing high school, so they're not usually till June. We like them on board by mid-May if we can. Some of them nowadays can even start a little earlier, early May, which you know, it helps us out. We take them on. We're always short on flag people. You know, we only have 11 guys that work in the field, so you know, you take 2 people out of that flagging, and you get tight on people. So it really helps with
Do
traffic.
we have anybody working from home?
No. No, we Amber worked from home for what, maybe a month or 2 part-time during, you know, when it first started last spring, maybe through April, May,
When
but-
the kids were home.
when the kids were home, yeah. But other than that, we have not had anybody working from home. Our work it's here and it's on the highway. It doesn't, she's the only real position that could work from home. Maybe I could do some of my work from home, but I don't feel in a leadership position that I can say, you have to come to work and I'm gonna stay home and be safe. You know, I don't feel that's very good leadership for my own part. But, so yeah, the remote work does not work well in our department besides Amber, what she does for us. Yeah. So I don't have any other updates with employees. I guess we are good there. Work schedule. We've been working a lot on DG for the last month or 2, you know, brushing, cutting the right of ways back. That since snow and it's got softer road bands on. Well, we work even into the road bands some, but once the snow all went, the side of the road got soft, we quit doing that. We're just getting going on pulling shoulders. We grade them all up and lay them back out nice every spring. So we got a crew doing that. We're going to get going on culvert inspection here this week, looking at all the culverts on the county highways to check them over. Just getting equipment ready for the summer season.
Do you want us to vote on hiring your temporary people?
I don't think we need to at this time, because it hasn't been approved at county board even, but
Yeah, we discussed this for a month or 2 ago.
yeah,
And it'll continue every summer. So
sure.
Of those people that you're going, that 5 that you already got, how many of those are coming back from last year? How many?
2.
2?
For sure, yeah. Did we not hear on that 3rd one yet?
She's not coming.
She's not coming.
So far we got 2 new ones, or 2 returning from last year. They're gonna start in May. And then 3 new ones. 2 of them are, one starting in mid-May and the other 2 after they graduate, 1st of June.
Moving into the construction season, you know, no changes there. We're the projects on GG have been awarded. We will be talking about the county end project next in number 6. We're still planning to do a bunch of culvert work on GG between Mellon and Clam Lake there, trying to get ready for future paving projects with the culverts changed.
Who got the job on GP?
American Asphalt.
I know who they were.
They were the only bidder on both projects, and on N also. Yeah, GT. Well, both of the GT projects came in very nice. I mean, they were about 200,000 to 300,000 less than we had anticipated, so we were very happy with them bids. Good. Same with County N, came in less. My estimate was 527,000. It came in at 490. So I was happy with where that comes. So
When does that have to be completed by?
N,
No, GG.
all of them have to be completed by September 15th, 1st of September for the bulk of the work. You know, final date by the 15th. which I've been told American is gonna move into the Peterson pit on 77. It's a little east of Clam Lake there. They're planning to move in, I believe, mid-May. So them projects will probably be done end of May, early June. They will be going down on them.
You said move in. What are
Move
they-
in the asphalt plant.
Oh, they're moving up, okay,
They're setting an asphalt plant up in the
in that
Peterson
old
pit.
pit,
Yeah,
okay,
I believe they have to haul the material in. I was always told that pit is laid out for
Yeah.
material.
yeah, I walked
So-
around in there, heat laid out.
So they must be bringing in the material from somewhere else. I know they had talked about Wartco has a pit, Wartco.
Yep.
Close to 13 intersection. They had talked about setting up in there, but the last time they set up the asphalt plant there, they had issues with the neighbor. There's a trailer house real close to the pit there with noise and dust and stuff. So American is trying to avoid that and not set up there. To stay away from having neighbor issues, I guess. Any questions on
Just got a
any of them
question on-
employees?
Who works at American Asphalt have on change orders? Cause that can go into your.
Yeah, with us, we've used them the last few years on different paving projects, and we haven't had no change orders. So they've been really good.
So no changes, no change orders are anticipated.
No change orders are anticipated. Yeah, I mean, it should be pretty straightforward. They're pretty basic jobs. I mean, basically, mill off an inch and lay in 2 inches. The bid is actually set up as a tonnage bid. They bid it per ton, so if they overrun or underrun, we pay them on tonnage. But they've kept it, I mean, within right there the last few years. I mean, they're really good on their,
Well, those guys, they buy the oil a year ahead of time too, so,
probably, yeah.
AC.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually surprised. I thought maybe asphalt prices would be up this year, but they were actually lower than the last 2 years. So, per ton.
It's kind of surprising they really don't get it.
Yeah. But, I mean, they're a part of Mackey Company. They know they have to, they know they're the only bidder, but they have to keep it somewhat reasonable. Otherwise, they will bring in competition, or the projects will not get done. So I think they're playing it pretty well that way.
So like that one project that you estimated at 527,000, 7,000,
Yes.
if they would have bid like 600,000 and they were the only bid, what would you have done?
I would have probably come to you guys and, what do we want to do? We'd have to have a discussion about it to decide if the county wants to spend the more money or, change something on the project or do something different. Yeah, actually on that project, well, we could talk about it on number 6 too.
I don't know if everybody had a chance to look at the bill, but I had one question. Is it time to bring it up now or no?
That'd be fine. Yeah,
Okay, I see there's clothing allowance.
yes.
I realized that there was clothing allowance, but what's the clothing allowance and how much do they get?
It's 350,
340.
340, 340 a year per employee for the highway department. And that's been in place. I mean, I've been here since 2013 and it has not changed since that.
But how do they get paid? Do they get so much a month or?
They have to turn in a receipt. They purchase it, or some of the stuff we purchase through some of our suppliers and take it off of their allowance. But yeah, if they purchase it out of there, they pay cash for it or whatever, they turn in the receipt, they get a
'Cause
reimbursement.
I see there was one for like 34 something,
Yes,
and that's kind of why I was wondering. So they can only spend 340 a year, or only that's what they're getting credit for?
yes,
And then I usually pay those out quarterly. So like if, I just did a set, if there was 5 people that turned in for boots, then beginning of April, I'll issue checks for who turned it in. Same thing at the end of the next quarter, and then at the year end. So I'm not doing it, they've said it's get them to by this date and then they'll get their check. So sometimes they have a receipt for 3 months, but that's just the process they've used and it seems to work. Very well.
And you'll see that the forest department has a similar policy. They have to buy their equipment or their clothing allowance and then get reimbursed. And the sheriff's department has the same thing.
Are you talking mainly about safety equipment?
Yeah, it's boots, jackets, gloves. We provide, like safety glasses and that kind of stuff for saw pants and, stuff for cutting with chainsaw. But it's yeah, if you want some Carhartts for winter time or a safety jacket with, the fluorescent stuff on it. Boots, we require steel toe boots, that sort of thing.
Does the highway department provide any type of insect repellent or sulfur, those guys that are in the vehicle?
We do, yeah. We provide insect repellent and then some like tick stuff too. Yes, that's just provided.
Because they're more likely to contact
Yeah.
lions or something.
Yeah,
because they're in-
yep. They have availability in the break room. There's usually a box of it that they can take what they need.
Okay, anything else on construction or we'll go to 6? Tony N.
All right, so County N, as we talked a little bit, it bid out. The project came in at $490,662.63. I'd estimated that 527. There's 518 is available through the closed grant. If you remember, that's that leftover revolving loan fund dollars, that CDBG fund that we've been working on for many months now. So the bid came in good. I'm satisfied. We do need to have a motion and an acceptance from this committee for our paperwork for the Department of Administration, their requirements of that.
I will so move.
Motion by Bill, second by Marty, to approve the grant process. Is it how you want to state it?
Yes, the county highway and resurface project 2021.
Okay. Any questions?
Accept the bid to American Asphalt.
Okay. So, that okay with Bill and Marty?
Yep.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Just a little update on that. The bidding requirements required that we receive 3 bids for that project, which we do not. I had to get a letter from Max, the clerk council, stating that, it's generally, we only get 1 bid on paving projects in Ashland County, and it would not be to the county's advantage to rebid it again because it would not come with any other outcome. So they did accept that letter and give approval to move forward with it also with just the 1 bid. So
Just a question, is American Asphalt going to haul that from that same pit?
yes,
So they're gonna haul across 77, which we don't care. if it's
Yeah.
State. highway.
yeah, 77 down 13.
Now, do we have any issues running through Blitz?
I'm hoping they'll use that truck route
But
around
would
the back. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, that would be preferable rather than running down Main Street.
yeah, because it just worked on Main Street.
Yeah, we just paved that. So some of it, well, depending, because we're starting at that bridge right there, maybe a few roads will come across there, but the bulk of it should be able to come through the truck route.
Can you give me the numbers for the other project?
GG, I don't know if I have them. Let's see if I put them. That the flap grant one was 1.4 and the other one was 500,000 or 600,000. I cannot remember. I think it come out to 1.9 total for GG, and we had budgeted 2.2 or 3 on that. So
But you're saying the Flash grant, which is federal,
flap grant is federal for $1 million, and then our portion was the rest. And then on That was for 9 miles. And then the other 4 miles, there is a $230,000 LRIP state funding. And then the county will be responsible for the
Okay,
balance.
so from Clam Lake to the Elk Road is the 4 mile project.
Yes.
And then the Elk Road to the Sawyer County line
Correct.
is 9 or
Yeah, yep. Yeah, I mean, if you want some exact numbers, I can.
Oh,
get them in my office, but-
Round numbers, what, 100,000, $34,000. That's good.
okay, any other questions on the,
I just got one quick one. When is that supposed to start?
All of these projects will start possibly at end of May, probably in early June for sure. And I would expect everything will be done by the end of June, usually to be paved if they keep on schedule is what they're telling me right now.
Gary?
On this, bid that you had for, on the end. I guess I'm not quite understanding this, we have a grant,
Yes, that-
when the smoke clears away, how much is it costing us?
if we keep it under 518,000, it will not cost us a dime.
Really?
Yes. Yep. So the bid right now is at 490. So that could change a little bit depending on what their actual usage is. But if they come in close like they usually do, it will not cost us.
Oh, great.
Yes.
yeah,
It's,
the county chief south of Clam Lake, you said there's $1 million grant
yes,
from the feds on that.
yes. Yeah, there's a total of about 1.3, 1.25 on that. It's gonna cost us 1.9. So, you know, the county is out of a 1.9, the county is gonna have a, you know, $700,000 bill, but not bad considering.
Gary? I don't know if this is the place to insert it, but you guys sure did a nice job on the right of ways on Highway 13, brushing them. Excellent job, with that stuff cut down, and I see where the banks were, where they were real high, now you've been cutting those off, and that really looks good. And I actually seen a deer the other day coming out, and you could see that deer, you know,
Yeah.
because, you know, so, but I've never seen the highway look as good as that.
Thank
So
you.
I just thought I'd like to put that in there. Cause I'm glad it's just down there, so.
And Matt's aware of it. I called the DOT in Superior a couple months ago too, and told them that I thought they were doing a fantastic job. Don't, you know, funding it, but they need to go all the way to the county line of Frank County. One question that keeps coming up, I hear it, one week, are you gonna keep coming? I said, yeah. It will take time.
It's just a slow process. You know, with the big trees, the small stuff, it's easy to buzz through with the mower and take it down. The big stuff takes time. I mean, you see, we worked on that stretch kind of by the wayside. It takes time. I mean,
And talking about that, if anybody ever goes from Mellon to Clam Lake on the from Mineral Lake towards Clam Lake, where you guys have been rushing, that is, it's fantastic because that road at one time, everybody knows was right up to the ditches, and then it was
Yeah.
moved a little bit, but now it's clear, you can actually see something.
sure.
That's really,
We're clearing it 40 feet from center line is what we're clearing. So it looks good. Yeah.
So will that be brushed again? Will that be cut again this fall or something, or the winter, or,
Which stretch on?
no, like 13 where you
Oh.
are?
The state is looking at every 3 to 4 years, you know, running that brusher down, just the mower down.
Okay,
We will continue depending on kind of how it works is we go through some winter and summer and what we have left in budget dollars through the state money. Then we start brushing in, you know, October, November, December. And depending on what we have available. But I expect to continue the big brushing, but the small stuff, the mower stuff will be hopefully every 3 years is what we're looking at.
there was a time when people made hay of it.
yeah.
It's kind of a safety issue.
Okay,
All right, so as you've all probably heard, there's the Ashland County is receiving $3+ million in the American Rescue dollars. And we're looking good ways to utilize this money. I'm looking for suggestions from the committee if they have anything that fits the criteria for highway. One suggestion I have, we've been kicking this around, this is from Ember's time. I don't know if he ever mentioned it to you, about putting over like by the break room in the office, there's a corner of the building to build a conference room addition in there. Be about a 32 by 40 foot addition. It would make for a conference room, a bigger meeting space than the old office, the old conference room where the committee used to meet there. It would give better space for the committee to meet. It would give a better space for us to do like trainings with our employees. Possibly, I can envision the health department use this facility a lot for COVID testing. Possibly they could do vaccination clinics or something out of there in the future. Different reasons. I don't know if this would meet the criteria. I think we could sell it as kind of COVID related, trying to get a better space that we could do better social distancing for like committee meetings. You remember how tight that the other room is. It's just a thought I'm throwing out there. I'm interested in.
Dorothy Kay had mentioned something about having an emergency management
Yes, I didn't mention that.
office or something.
Yeah, so she's been asking for many years if we could do some kind of a secondary emergency operations center out of High Bridge here. And in the past, it did not make sense because our internet speed was terrible. I mean, they couldn't have done what they needed to do. Now we have Norvado put a fiber optic in for us last year. We have great internet. So yeah, that would help with their, if that one's overwhelmed or something happens that they can't use the one in Ashland, they would also be able to move down here and use this as a center. They have used our office and our break room in the past. You remember when they'd have the music festivals, they'd use our facility here for bookings and dealing with some of the problems they had with the festivals. So just makes good sense, I think, to make a space that's usable for not only my department, but other departments also. And I think we could probably utilize these funds to do so. Go ahead.
Did you get an estimate on that?
I kind of have a rough estimate. I talked to CNS Design a couple years ago about it and just never did anything with it. But I think probably with design somewhere in that $300,000 range, depending on how they want to do the roof. If they want to extend the roof or else put a new roof kind of over the whole office break room area. But I think in that 300 would probably get us there.
And I think what we need to do, Matt, I think it's a great idea. I think what we need to do is the department head, that idea, and if we have other ideas, put them in some kind of a written form, because I would assume eventually the county board's going to look at all the department's requests and say, does it fit the criteria?
Yes.
And then we'll have to rank. But I would think this, as a department, you should put this down.
Yes.
And if you think of some other things that may fit, and Clark and everybody else tells us we could do it here or there, I might get to the county board that have to weigh in and say, I like project A, B, and C, and
Sure.
but I certainly would encourage if everybody else to have to kind of get something.
And Clark does have a list started, and I have put that on there.
Okay.
I just today, it's just a informational, just to tell you what I'm thinking, and then look for feedback from you guys. If you guys have ideas or something that might work.
How about on the roads where you got put in 700,000, can you collect that somehow from that?
They're telling us nothing for roads. It specifically says investments in water, sewer, or broadband. We don't have either, any of them three, you know, we don't have any water or sewer. Obviously, we're not in the broadband business. Yeah, we had hoped initially that the county association was telling Clark that roads were gonna be a possibility, but now, from my understanding, it's no.
What about equipment?
I highly doubt it. I mean, I don't know how I could sell it in them criteria, you know, to buy
You
any.
need a new grader?
I do need a new grader.
Well, and the other thing that we need to kind of watch is the back burner is the state's potential, the money the state's gonna get. There's been some discussions on the governor's side that they may be looking for shovel-ready projects. So in the back of your mind, even though
Yes,
we already
which-
have the other projects.
We're gonna talk about that on number 9.
Okay, good.
Yep, that's a,
Because that's something in the back of your mind. It was
Yes.
Like years ago, I think, County F was done for them this year under a stimulus
yes,
program. And so, like I say, I'll leave this under for you.
yeah, yep,
But-
yeah, I want to talk about that, yes.
Yeah, so this is Clark. You know, when we're looking at this, Matt has the exact language that's from the bill. Treasury will be putting out guidance most likely in, I don't know, probably the second week of May. That will give further guidance for this. So we're all kind of just waiting for that. We'll be going over this issue at the county board tomorrow because the proposal from the executive committee is that the joint task force be made up of the executive committee and the finance committee that would evaluate ideas to bring to the county board for review. And so that's what's on the proposal. We're not talking about individual things. We're not talking about ideas. The county needs to decide how they're going to decide first. And then after that, we'll start looking at the guidance in May and June. We have until 2024, December 2024 to spend that money. And I think one of the things that we've talked about, and I'm sure Matt has talked about with his fellow county highway commissioners, is if there is a crap load of money that comes down the pike for roads from not from this side, but from the other infrastructure side that's going to be coming down, the problem is going to be if there's timelines on that, everybody's going to be competing for the same resources, the same construction workers, the same asphalt plants. You know, all those things are going to be competitive. And that's one of the concerns that at least the county administrators group has had concerns over. If the big stimulus plan that's going through DC right now comes all at once, plus this money, plus other money, there's going to be a lot of pressure for construction. So we'll be talking about this tomorrow at the full county board.
Thanks, Clark. Okay, that's for 7.
That's all I have.
So, item 8.
All right, so I've been looking into something to help with our keep track of maintenance. Back when I was patrol superintendent, there's so many little issues that come. You know, there's a pothole here, there's a sign here, there's a tree down here, there's just a whole host of issues. And you try to write them down, and you know you're wherever, and one of the employees tells you, "Hey, I seen this here." You know, kind of true. You know, some of it sticks, some of it doesn't. So I've been looking at ways to make it easier to keep track of this, track it, and you know, basically help the supervisors remember and so we can take care of the little issues. It's mainly the big stuff is pretty easy. It's the little stuff that kind of can slip through the cracks at times. But I've been doing some research, and I've been looking at these. It's software. It's kind of it goes on your computer, and it's an app based on your phone. It uses like a mapping. So one of the guys could be, you know, on Highway 13 near Glidden, and he sees a sign down. He could stop there, pull up this app on his phone, you know, press a button to create a work order here. It puts a short description of, you know, sign down needs fixed, and it gives a location on the map. So that would populate back into the program, into the computers, into the phones or iPads of the supervisors that they could see this stuff. Then they could easily see, you know, okay, they could look on a map, there's 5 dots down on Highway 13, that stuff that needs to be taken care of. So this makes it easier to track. Hopefully we do a better job. We do a good job, but hopefully we can do a better job of getting to all the little issues. This program also has a component where the public could log into it and report issues that they see. You know, if they could. We don't get a lot of complaints. It's pretty minimal. We get a few, maybe a few a month. So that's not a huge deal, but it's, you know, maybe some people would like it. You know, they could not so much complain, but make us aware of things that they see out on the road. So I'm just looking for input. I would like to purchase this software. It's about $4,500 to purchase. I think there will be a yearly fee along with that after the fact. But along with it, I would propose to pay our employees a cell phone stipend, basically a $25 a month cell phone stipend. The employees already at this time, they use their cell phones. They take pictures of stuff they see on the road. They text back and forth with the supervisors. You know, we use it for call out times. You know, maybe they're not at home. I just see it as a way to make this software, this app work. They have to be able to use their cell phones, and I don't think that the county could say that we're going to buy this and require you to use your personal cell phone without some type of compensation to say, you know, we'll pay you the $25 a month, and then we'll be able to ask you to use that cell phone to help us run this program. I just think it would be a good way to help us just do a better job. I've also been told by this company that many government units that are buying it are able to use this American Recovery Dollars Act this year to purchase it also. So they feel it's one of the allowable uses of it because it helps promote less face-to-face activity if you need that. So any questions, Bill?
Would we be purchasing the cell phones?
No,
Okay.
no. We have cell phones. I have a cell phone. Bruce, the patrol superintendent, has a county cell phone. Our foreman, Kim Rickla, has a cell phone, and Bob Pipp, the shop superintendent, has a county-owned cell phone. So they would not get this stipend. It's all the other employees that have a personal cell phone. We would pay them $25 a month, basically, for the use of their personal cell phone.
The American Recovery Act is going to pay for some of this, is that what you're saying?
That's what this company is telling me. Other governments have said that it will qualify. So it would be one of the things I would put on the list to ask, you know, this task force that is being put together for this money.
But that's not a never-ending thing.
No, it would.
$3,600 a year.
Yes,
That's
that's
going to cost after that.
yes.
That would be on our.
Yes, that would be on our dime. Yes. So that would come out of our county maintenance dollars, and we can also put some of that cost onto the state. We're asking for 12 employees. 5 of them employees are considered DOT. We have 5 DOT sections, so they would pay for them 5. They would pay that $25 a month. So, you know, the county would have pay for the other 7. But yeah, I do have you want to pull up that it's a little PowerPoint, just kind of shows an overview of it. Slideshow. Yep. Go through that one. So it should help with, hopefully we can do better planning, get a better view, make better decisions about where we're going, when. This one shows a picture of, there's the app, so it would show, you could see them dots with the maintenance issues that need to be taken care of, so you could kind of zoom in on a certain area to show what needs done where. Go to the next one. This one is just some more a bigger view on the right there, and some tracking stuff that I could look at and say, okay, it created so many work orders. Looks like they finished some, and they have some to do. I could have a way to track what's going on in the field a little better.
Yeah, that reporting with the site locations, I have an app on my phone where no matter where I am, I can dot it, it'll give the.
Yeah.
Then I can send it to anybody, so.
Sure.
that's the advantage of that, even a taxpayer who sees a tree down or some road. could
Yeah.
dot it, send a message.
Yep.
My question is, though, is if the Recovery Act would pay for it, we don't know that for sure. So are you saying that some of this you would put on the list and then say, here's one of the things I want, and if they'll. pay
Yeah, I
for
mean,
it-
I'm looking for approval to move forward with it, and hopefully we could get a Recovery Act to pay for this year or a few years, but eventually it's going to have to be paid for between the county and our
the
DOT funding that we
Recovery
get.
Act, that's the question. If we purchase something before we know, I wonder if they will allow us to go back and charge them.
Yeah, we are getting the recovery money in May. So, and they're actually gonna give us, they said they'd give us a few months free for demo for this year, so we wouldn't be paying for it until, say July or August, if we were to move ahead with it. I guess, I don't know, Clark, do you have a thought if we were to move forward with it now, could we pay for it later with recovery dollars?
So I haven't seen the guidance. The treasurer has not come out with that. I have an assumption that it basically would be backdated to purchases and obligations that go to April 1st is what I've heard people say. And the question is, does it fit into those 5 guidance that you just put up there? I guess the question is, what is your justification that it fits in that federal law? What category do you fit it under?
Basically COVID related, because we could do less face-to-face interaction possibly. That's the basic justification, I guess.
Yep. So, yeah. And so I don't know. I mean, I can't really say without the guidance if it would or wouldn't be approved, but I think the first step would be basically have the county board set how we're going to decide, and then basically on a periodic basis, we have until, I think it's a good product. I support Madden purchasing this product, regardless if it's reimbursed or not from the COVID funds, because I think it's a benefit to the county, and I think it's a benefit to everything there. So I would support this going forward with this, and if it gets reimbursed, then we can.
I'm thinking that, first of all, I'm liking this idea. And secondly, I want to point out that, we have, every other year, we have an inventory of our business in the commission reports. I can see that, I can't see, but I would assume that this program is going to allow us to do public locations and stuff like that. Once you have public locations, it's easy enough to add or to take the condition report of that code.
Sure.
Or when it was last in place or again. And more importantly, like say for instance, in 2016, like a flood. So for instance, we have records going back to high water mark that he is and all this kind of stuff.
Sure.
So that, we can make those kinds of, critiques to that particular cycle piece. So, if it comes off, I'd make a motion to move forward.
Like, need a motion, is there a second?
A second.
Second by Rick. Any other questions? Now, are we talking about both the, asset essential program and the cell phone? The motion, or,
Sure.
Okay.
Let's try to get it.
okay, Rick, do you second that?
I do.
Bill,
Like Dick was saying, that after the year goes, I have no problem if we qualify for this $25 a month for the cell phone for the 12 employees. But after a year, then the county's going to have to start paying it. So that'd be the part that I question. I'd like to, I don't, if we're gonna get paid, we're gonna use dollar amounts and they're using their cell phone. Well, they should get reimbursed. But after a year, if we have to go ahead and come up with the money, that's a different story.
Sure.
Now, I'm thinking that it's gonna be 2 years because the initial purchase, and if we spend this money till 2024, so you got, was it 2022, 2023, on the dollar.
Hopefully, yeah,
Presumably,
yeah, that would be the hope, but even if it doesn't, qualify for this money, like I said, a portion of this will get paid, 5 out of the 12 will get paid through the DOT. We can get reimbursed from that. The county would have to pay the rest. I don't expect to have to increase my budget. I can take it out of my county highway maintenance budget line item. So we're fine there.
There's an implicit requirement that all people have a cell phone. Is that the case?
There would be, if they were to take this $25, they would have to provide a cell phone with the like a smartphone type, because they'd have to have an app. Yeah, if they would turn it down, that they would not have that, then they would not qualify for the $25. And I think all of them have it. There's one that, I don't know if this is a smartphone yet or not. I think he did go to one, right? Okay, so they all have a phone that would work for this at this time already.
so there's a motion and a second to approve both the asset essentials and the cell phone reimbursement. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
so the question at this point in time, let me ask, does this go to the board?
No,
This is the determinant,
this is just committee.
okay?
I wouldn't, funding wise, it's a small enough dollar. I could have probably just done it on my own, but especially being that with the cell phone stipend that the employees are getting a payment, I wanted the committee's approval to move forward with
Good to have
this.
the record.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, item 9.
So we touched on this, Gary mentioned this shovel ready, and Clark also. The County Highway Association, the commissioners I've been talking with, I did a TDA, I listened to a TDA, Transportation Development Association, kind of on a federal level. I listened to a webinar, they usually have a fly into Washington DC and meet with people. They're obviously not doing that this year, so they had it online. I listened to that on Friday. Everybody's saying you need shovel-ready projects. The Biden administration is talking about basically $2 trillion infrastructure plan right now. There's also probably the state money coming out of the American Rescue Plan. They're all saying that we need to have shovel-ready projects to qualify to get any of this funding. So to have a shovel-ready project, for a federal project, you have to put out a RFP for request for proposals from consultant-based engineers, interview them, and then come up, have them pick which one you want to design your project. So to do this, it's going to take some money. I know at our last meeting with commissioners, Barron County was going to his board and he was asking for $250,000 to hire consultants to get shovel-ready projects. I don't think we need $250,000. I've been kind of just reviewing my list of projects that I had coming up in the near future for road projects. GG from Mellon to Clam Lake is a big one. I'm a little bit unsure that I want to get a shovel-ready project on that. The FLAP grant is coming available again this fall. We applied for it 2 years ago. We didn't get it. We think we have a very good chance in this cycle. So if I design it now, then I don't know if it would have to be redesigned for that program, or I'm kind of thinking of holding off on that one for trying for the FLAP grant. And then also the governor's budget proposes this MLS money, the same as he did in his last budget. We put in for a section of GG, then we did not get it, but I think that'll move us up on the list if we reapply for that. So I'm kind of thinking that I want to hold off on GG, but I'm thinking of putting a project together on let's see, County Highway E, getting that ready for asphalt replacement. County Highway F through the village of Butternut, getting that ready, and then County Highway DG through the village or through the city of Mellon. Then were 3 projects I'm kind of leaning toward that I would want to get to that shovel ready status. I don't know what you guys are thinking. My thought is on how to pay for this. We have our highway improvement fund that we are basically our savings account that may or may not be there. But we had $200,000 to $300,000 savings on some of our projects this year. So could I utilize $100,000 out of that, up to $100,000 to get some projects to the shovel-ready status, so we could be ready for any funding opportunities that are coming down the deck.
And that was going to be my next question. We spend a lot of money on consultants and estimates and stuff like that, and we don't get the money. So we don't.
Well, we're going to do these projects anyway in the next few years, however they get funded, in the next, it could be 5-10 years. I don't, if we're doing it on county dollars, obviously we're struggling with that right now. So, but it would not be wasted money because we would be able to use it. The plan won't go bad sitting on the shelf. It will still be available for use when we do that project, which at some point they will get done.
It's probably not the time or the place to bring this up, but if they're going to be funding expensive things that we never could afford to do otherwise, it wouldn't be a bad idea to throw in a government center.
Yeah,
We have the property.
Sure.
It's good road. We don't have any money to build anything. So I shouldn't even be talking about it now.
that might be more. You've probably heard and seen in the news. They're bringing these earmarks back in. Maybe that would be something to go toward an earmark. I don't know. I mean, the what they're proposing now is infrastructure. I look at that more as roads, highways, bridges, water, sewer. Maybe it's this building infrastructure too. I do not know that. I don't have an answer to that. But
Yeah, the earmarks are pretty much have to be into your congressman and senator by the end of this month on the 30th. That's kind of a little short one-time thing they're going to put together. And I think I did talk about this at executive and finance committee meeting earlier also. So
maybe the government center would be something you should look at putting in for an earmark. Talk to Yulee and them to see. I don't know, or actually at the federal level, probably more.
Yeah, I mean, part of the problem with the earmarks is you really, it's hard to go and get an earmark without some sort of knowledgeable base. You can't say, I want a new government center. Well, what is it going to cost? Well, I don't know, 10, 20, $30 million. I don't know what it would cost. You kind of have to have a good estimate and have your ducks in a row. Otherwise, you don't get considered because thousands of these things come in. And when you have these big, broad things, that's why for me, the only thing I could come up with, which is already engineered and most likely already done, is the uh, basically improvements in the city of Ashland for the sanitary system to stop sewage going into or untreated water from going into Lake Superior. They already know what that's going to cost. They can just put a price tag on it. As a county, we don't have anything to do with it. We would just support it and give a letter of support along with Bayfield County, because the more people you can get involved with letters of support for earmarks by April 30th, the more likely it would be considered and get on the list. And so I didn't have anything that was, as Matt says, engineered out, shovel ready, that's ready to go by the 30th.
I think, in lieu of our discussion going on here and your recommendation that we might want to utilize some of that, savings funds, maybe as much as $100,000,
Yeah, that would be my recommendation, up to 100,000.
on these 3 projects.
Well, I would have to see. I think they'll be a fairly reasonable design price. They're pretty simple projects. They're basically asphalt replacement, so it's not a lot of work, not like designing a whole bridge or something. It's pretty basic. So I think 100,000 should easily cover these 3 projects and maybe even more.
That would be only E, F, and GG.
Yes.
I would like to entertain a motion to go with the recommendation of our highway department.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Rick. Here's a question. If this motion is made and seconded and approved, if we say in a public document that we're going up to 100,000, do we risk the potential bidders from saying, "Oh, they have 100,000, let's turn
No.
our."
And actually, how it works with the RFP with consultants, I don't agree with the process. It's a federal process. You have to get requests for proposals. They give you a prospectus of their company. Maybe if you remember, we did these for bridges and stuff. You look over and you say, okay, company A looks like the best company. Then you negotiate the dollar amount after the fact. You can't talk dollars and cents in the bid. That's negotiated. So, and if you can't negotiate with this company, then you go to company B and try to negotiate with them to the price that you want. But so it's not a bid per se process, and I don't think that would be a problem.
How long does this take to do?
Well, I don't know. I have not contacted anybody. I wanted to talk to you guys first. The problem will be, like Clark says, he mentioned all the asphalt plants and the construction workers and everything are going to be busy, but also the consultants are going to get busy too, because everybody's going to be wanting to get shovel ready projects going.
Is there any time that we would know if this is the shovel thing has been given out? Is there any, do we have any warning, like,
No,
we don't have any warning at all?
no, we don't know it. I mean, is this even going to get approved at the federal level? For sure. It probably is in some fashion. Will it be the $2 million that the Biden administration is asking for? We don't know. But if we don't start looking into it and getting ready for it when the time comes, we'll just be left with dust, and Ashland County will not get anything per se.
I'm not sure I caught all of Mike's motions.
The motion is to go with the recommendation from our superintendent. Those 3 road projects, county E, county F, and GG, not to exceed $100,000. And that was his recommendation, is that he thinks that we can do it for less than $100,000. But the question I have now is that, is this gonna come back to us once you get, get the RFP out to these people that are sending their perspectives? Are we gonna look at this again and pick somebody, or?
Yeah, so we can do it. That,
Yeah,
how we've done it on our bridge stuff, like the last bridge for the city of Mellon, we picked, it should be a committee of at least 3 people, and now this would be 3 off of this committee would have to come and look over these prospectus and choose, come up with a rating system. So yes.
like indicated before, and I concur, that I think right now, time is an essence, because these people are gonna get requests, RFPs from
Yeah.
all over.
Yeah. So in with this, if this motion is approved to do this, it wouldn't be out of line today to set up a 3-person committee to review, because I would like to get this RFP out immediately or in the next couple weeks. It doesn't take them long to put together their proposals and get this and get it rolling. I really would like to get going on it.
Even if we do an RFP, nobody's obligated to anything.
No.
Does this have to go to the county board once, if we okay this now, and then we pick somebody, does that have to go to the county board or no?
Clark, on our policy for budget items, or if this is over the 25,000, I can do 5,000 on my own, 25,000 with Clark. Over 25,000 I have to come to. Is it just my committee, or is it the whole county board?
I don't have the policy in front of me, so there's a 4 level. It has to do also one with the amount, but also a percentage of the overall budget for the department. And it has to be like 10, if it affects over 10% of what the budget is for the department, then it has to go to county board, I think.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah.
our budget is 2.5 million, so we're not close to a 10%. So I think this committee could approve that.
Yeah, I don't think it has to go to the full county board. It may have to go to just the finance committee, but we'd have to look at that policy before we basically would approve a bill, let's say. But I mean, going out for RFP is not obligating yourself to anything. You have to accept an RFP. We can put an RFP out for, $500,000 worth of dump trucks, but that doesn't mean we're going to buy them.
Sure.
So us as a rules committee, according to the policy, can we reallocate money as such? Like we have estimated $500,000+ for one project, and or we're looking at a savings of just under $500,000. That money is appropriated for earmarked for that project.
Sure.
Can this committee reallocate the savings in this particular case for something else?
I would say probably, because it was already budgeted to spend that money, so we're just reallocating it. It went through the budget process and got approved.
Yes, yeah. So if you're reallocating money within a department, that's up to Matt to decide, or Matt and the committee. That doesn't even come to my level. Once you step outside of that and you're basically increasing the inflow or stepping outside of your budget, that's where I would get involved, and or the finance committee, and or the county board.
Motion and second basically would approve putting the RFPs out, and before we spend any money, the RFPs would be reviewed by a committee.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
we're not actually approving spending money yet. It's just the process started.
Sure.
Anybody have any other questions? Otherwise, motion's been made and seconded to go forward. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. Would you want to put together a 3-person committee to review the RFPs?
Who would like to volunteer? You need 3.
I think Mike knows the most.
Mike, you volunteer.
Mike and
Mike didn't realize you volunteered.
Rick knows the most.
Like this,
We might.
Okay, Mike and Rick.
And then chairperson.
Okay. So,
How do you get to volunteer other people?
right.
Well, I just,
That's kind of,
you know,
it's down to volunteer thing.
you know, that's what we have to rely more on, people that know more about something, you know, and Mike knows a lot and Rick does too. So, you know, we might as well tap onto the,
So you're drafting them.
right.
Thanks a lot.
Bill was
And
doing
remember-
leadership, you know.
Congratulations.
Right, I know.
Okay, so you have your committee of-
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Do you need to have a motion on that to approve that committee, or you can just form it?
I'll make a motion.
Bill second, Marty, or Bill, motion, Marty second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, thank you. Highway road school.
So the road school, as I had told you last meeting, is June 7th through 9th. I have a few registration forms here if anybody is interested in going. We need to get you signed up before May 7th is the deadline to register. And I don't know if you guys want to talk about it through your committee, how many can go or should go, or who wants to go.
Nick, did you're outside the committee technically, but did you have an interest?
Well, if my lawyer can't make it, I guess I
No,
don't.
Rick, you're not.
I'm not going. I'm not going.
Okay.
I don't think so. Maybe the chairperson.
But I'll take one of
Sure.
them and think about it.
Okay.
Maybe I can lobby my friend here.
It worked last time.
Doesn't look that vulnerable.
I'll give them the form.
Pressure's on now.
No. I got lots to do. I don't know what, but I got lots.
We'll get back to you.
Yeah, if you can get it back to me as soon as possible, I can get it turned in and then, depending on the years past, I would make the reservations for the rooms too, so you need to let me know if it's you and your spouse or
Are you going to
that
that?
significant other, whatever,
Matt,
whatever you want.
are you going to that?
Yes, I will be going.
You could bring your wife or girlfriend without.
Yeah, not a.
But not both of them. Damn regulations.
Always gotta have it. I have a question outside of the next meeting. Speed limit. Oh, yeah, out of Butternut all the way to the county line. That's 45, right?
It kind of goes, it's not all the way, I don't think.
Well, it used to out by what was Kiewicz Avenue.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there it changed to 55. But when we put the four-wheelers on, did we say that the whole road would be 45?
No, we dropped that section from, what is
Where
it,
it's,
Woodland Road or not, I mean,
I can't remember the exact
I
road.
don't remember, but we dropped that out, but we did not the rest of the road.
Okay, so let's use where my house is. From, once you come around the big corner by Bush Mart and Mary Russell to out of Butternut, half mile.
Yeah.
Because that slows down on that corner. From there out to like Maple Grove is 45, correct?
It's been a while. I can't remember. I know a bulk of it is 55. There's just some sections in there that are 45.
Because there's some real confusion about. I'm in favor of 45, but there's some
Okay.
confusion because people have been getting stopped. And they're saying, well, there's no sign. And so I think maybe at some point we should look and say, okay,
I should look at the signs.
or whatever, because
I mean, if the committee is interested in lowering the speed limit on the whole road to 45, that's a possibility. To go under 45, you have to have the DOT do a speed study and change it all, but
I think the 45 is okay.
we could go to 45 on the whole road.
People are doing much more than that if they're getting stopped.
Sure.
They're saying, well, there's no sign anywhere. It's a mile or two back maybe. So I suppose
Okay.
sometime you and I can talk and say, what is the real speed limit?
Yeah, I can take a look at it. I'll drive it and just look at the speed signs and just reevaluate them.
And then if we wanna change it to 45 the whole way, then talk to the town board too. Get their input.
Yeah, but like I say, my concern is because of a lack of a sign, I'm assuming that's why someone's doing more than 45.
Sure.
And, but I don't know where to, because it used to be 45 from the village out a long way.
Okay.
Somewhere out past Elmwood or the
Right.
Lotus line, somewhere, it went to 55. And so the confusion for people is, what's the speed limit, and then you can stop and say, the speed limit, and then, where's the sign? You know, 'cause it's- but
Yeah, there should be signs. I'd have to just go look specifically to see it then, but
that's fine. And then the other question, does the county control culverts on the driveway coming onto a county road?
yes,
So if somebody wants to extend their driveway, which would mean an extension on the culvert, do
yeah.
they talk to you?
They probably should get a driveway permit, so that you have to get a driveway permit, and then, I would look at it and make a determination what size culvert is necessary and all that. So if they're looking to change it, they probably should get a new permit. There are no costs. I come out and look at it.
Good, good. Good, that's a good thing. Then, items for next agenda or in next meeting? Oh,
So 23rd, Marty and I have been appointed to the bridge committee for that big dinner we've had in Rome. Has that bridge been pushed another year down the road?
That bridge was supposed to be done in 2023. They were kind of hoping to move it up to 22, but the DOT did not let them because of funding. So as of right now, it's still in 23, but it's looking like it might get bumped to 24 because the Highway 13 project is going to be in 23. And that would kind of isolate that main street if they were doing the bridge and 13 in the same year.
Alderman over in Miller, it's the chair of this committee, and I've not heard anything from him or yourself. So I
Sure.
wanted to bring you to mention so that both Marty and I are on the same page. So that and I'm thinking that we're going to keep us on task anyway with regard to that. So,
Yeah, basically that committee did its job already. That was to pick the consultant. And that is done. So that committee doesn't exist anymore, essentially. That was just to go over the RFPs and pick the design consultant.
Oh, so we're done.
You're done.
well, let me ask.
Another job well done.
If you're gonna do the highway to Mellon in one, and then potentially the Bad River Bridge in another, and the goal is to raise the bridge.
That's a different bridge.
Oh, okay.
You're talking the Highway 13 bridge. We're talking the Tyler Avenue Bridge
Okay. So
coming
the-
off of
the
Main Street.
13 bridge would be done at the same time as the,
That's my understanding as the project through Mellon.
okay,
Yes.
thank you.
I've been reading in the paper about the railroad that has been sold or is it?
I've seen that, yeah.
Is there any ramifications to us on that?
I don't know of any at this time. Is the new company gonna want to use this rail or not? I mean, it's a large investment to put in back in the Silver Creek crossing and some of the other Trout Brook and all that.
Yeah, I was thinking of that ski jump in Mellon.
Yeah, so that's gonna get somewhat fixed in the 23 project. As you just alluded to, the bridge there by the school is getting raised 4 feet. And I believe they're in the process of buying or have bought that gas station at Express Mart. So the 77 intersection is gonna be brought up, so it's somewhat flatter. And they're gonna fill that through there. So they cannot remove the railroad crossing. The state had tried through CN to get rid of that railroad crossing, which they were not allowed to do. But hopefully these projects will make it a lot better than it is currently. So, yeah.
items for the next agenda. You know, the referendum failed, and we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. But, you know, we had briefly talked about the wheel tax before, and I guess I'd like to revisit that. But the only thing is with the wheel tax, I would like to have something written on paper to say what the qualifications are, who's going to have to pay on the wheel tax. You know, like for instance, motorcycles. Are motorcycles going to have to pay on the wheel tax? If the answer is no, then we should say no motorcycles. You know, the Native Americans, are they going to have to pay? Four-wheelers but we should have something to explain that the wheel tax isn't because you got four wheels on the car, you're gonna pay on four wheels. That's what one of the county board members said to me. She said, well, we have a car and a truck and we got 8 wheels. You know, and I said, no, geez, you got 2 licenses, you know, but she did not know that.
Yeah,
And-
the wheel tax is not a good way to reference it. Should be a registration fee.
Well, but I would like something that we could discuss and bring it up and just say, here, let's look at this. There's no sense in taking it to the county board and the county, you got all these questions. You know, I'd like to have something written.
Sure.
But is the wheel tax the highway department function or full county board? I don't think it's the function of the highway department.
Well, if the highway department wants to move it on to the county board, you know, but it's gotta start someplace. And,
Yeah.
and if you just bring it to the county board with all these unanswered questions, what are you voting on?
Yeah, the committee can't approve it. They can move it to the county board.
You know, and I don't know if there's another committee, but I think, you know, the highway is where the vehicles go.
I would say we put it in the daily press front page headlines that Bill is supporting wheel tax, and I guarantee you, you'll never step foot in Chippewa.
I don't know if I'm supporting it.
Oh, I'm just saying, I've already heard.
You know, I think that it should be looked into. And once we look into it, we can say, well, okay, you know, maybe I'm in favor of it, maybe I'm not.
Well, it is true though, last time
But-
around, there was a lot of.
But there was, there was so much confusion, you know, but if let's say vintage cars don't qualify for the wheel tax, okay, what is the guidelines? And is it 20 years old? You know, or,
Like this place.
so, yeah, I know. Vintage is a good word.
Here's what I was gonna bring to, and the chairman, I was gonna bring to the board is if we can set up a committee to develop a pamphlet. Full pamphlet. How much can that cost? 1, 2 meetings, and then develop this pamphlet for 2030. So that this can be available, we can put it to paper, no matter what paper it is, we can put it down, no paper, actually press it, or whatever else.
Are you talking for specifically highway or countywide? Pam?
No, this is countywide, because this wheel tax is gonna be countywide.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, right? Well, as a point of clarity, isn't that an idea to get something out to that ticket?
Well,
We need to know.
Yeah,
If you're gonna sell this thing, and that was my thing with this referendum. We needed to put something together to get this referendum passed. And Laura was the only one that met with her constituents, so, and asked her. And it's not that I didn't want to have one for District 13. Okay, how do I bring this to, how do I get my people together?
Right.
And this is what we need to do is have some means of communication with our constituents that we represent.
Sure.
And I've had a little bit of experience putting pamphlet, it's just basic information.
Sure.
but you know, I guess the thing is, let's see the information first to see if we want to go that way.
There you go.
Right. So if we did it the next meeting, we put it on the agenda just to discuss it. And then if, like, if you want to do a pamphlet or a paper, something, you know, we can discuss that if we're in favor of it.
Sure.
Let's keep it simple.
Yeah, I can do a write-up for it.
And people are saying, gee, I got 4 tires like that. Well, you know, it's a misnomer.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, you can put all kinds of roadblocks in front of us as you want, but let's keep it simple.
Sure.
No.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay,
Good
so
idea,
next meeting date was set for me.
So, you know, the general one would be May 10th, which is only 3 weeks away because we're late this month. I don't have anything that I need coming up to bring to you guys, other than if we need to move on this RFP business. That would be the only thing. So,
So why don't we set a meeting for June,
okay,
and then if for something comes up, you can let us.
we
know.
could call it earlier, so June 14th.
That works for everybody else.
Yeah. Works for me, so if it works for the rest.
June 14th, yeah.
Yep.
But then we won't have a meeting in May unless we need to.
Unless we need to, something to move this RFP forward, the shovel-ready projects. If we need to move on that, then we would have to call a meeting at some point.
Okay, anything else? Otherwise, you need a motion to adjourn.
We've got Dick over there.
Oh, Dick, sorry. I'm sorry.
On this road school thing. Is the highway department paying for golf licenses?
No, I'm not a golfer, so it doesn't matter to me, but
I'm not a golfer either. I don't even know how to swim.
I'll teach you how.
but yeah, no, that would be a personal.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. One thing I forgot I was going to mention earlier in my report. Our intention is to remove the road weight limits next Monday, the 26th at 9 a.m. That's Emmer always told me to once the frost comes out of our last tubes to wait about 2 weeks. So that's right about 2 weeks. I've been in talks with Douglas and Bayfield County. We're going on the same day. Some of the counties to the south of us went already today, and Price County is going on Thursday. So I think Monday is a good date for us. I just wanted to make you guys aware of it. If anybody had any comments on it, that'd be fine, but that was my intention.
Sounds good.
Is this a product of broadband expansion?
Yeah. Well, for some reason, it's not going up on the screen. It's working on here, but it's not. It's not going to the big screen. And I
Okay.
can't figure out why.
Mike made a motion to adjourn. For a second.
I'll second it.
Dick, second. All those in favor say aye.
All right.